59J. C-Dub on the beat. Back against the wall, CL20's knocking rated. IGI's tripping, validated, shoot ready. Brown incarceration, got my people living daily. Gang wars back to back till the hole is where they send me.
Hey, yo, what's good with everybody, man? I hope everybody's having a productive day, feeling blessed. And like I always say, it's one life, one chance. We only got one chance to do this right. Let's get it done. With that being said, I got another special guest who wants to come forward, talk about his life stories, his struggles, what he's went through, his prison term, and most importantly, more information about the Tango. So go ahead and introduce yourself, my boy.
Hey, what's going on, everybody out there on YouTube, man? They call me the well, man, but the streets, they used to call me Belong, but they still call me Belong. But, you know, I'm from the north side of Dallas, Texas, you know, the Web Chop, Royal Lane, Forest Lane. I used to be all the way up Forest Lane, up to Norwest Highway. You know, Harry Hines, you know, everybody knows about Harry Hines if you're from Dallas. You know, I did a little bit of short time. You know, I'm still active. You know, I'm not active, you know, but once, you know, as long as you live in good terms, you're always going to be a member. You know, that's, you know, I love my city. I love my state. It's just going to be, it is what it is. You know, it's, if I was to hit the county again, or God forbid I ever get another charge, that's what I'm going to end up being. You know, it's, there's no other ifs about it. You know,
so when you go to, so like you just previously mentioned, right? When it comes to the Tangos, you become one while you're in the prison system. And from the last video, it said, you know, it's just a prison gang. It's not supposed to be on the street. So being affiliated with the Tangos, you have the opportunity to come home and just live your life with no repercussions. Am I right?
Yeah, man, absolutely, man. There's no repercussions to coming home, man. Once you come home, it really depends up to you, man. It depends if you want to continue what you learned in there, and maybe, you know, a lot of people need to get hookups up in there, and they want to continue that route, or some of us just want to learn our lesson and just become family man. You know what I mean? Just basically become a 9-to-5, man. You know, getting up, going to work, you know, clocking in, clocking out, you know, basically paying the bills, just becoming a family man. That's one option, you know. But I got a lot of homeboys that still doing the same thing, you know, in and out, in and out, in and out. You know, it's really up to the person that really wants to change.
I think honestly, bro, hearing that from my last subscriber and you, I think that's a beautiful concept, because without the repercussions, it gives homeboys the ability to say, you know what, if I want to change, I'm going to change. But if I want to be loyal to my set, I'm going to be loyal to my set. And that gives homies that greater courage and that inspiration to say, like, I'm glad I was part of this. I was glad I actually helped out my brothers in the penal system. So did you grow up in the state of Texas?
Yeah, man, born and raised in Dallas, Texas, man. You know, that's my city, you know, born and raised. You know, first generation, you know, my people, my mom and dad they're from Mexico, you know. So, you know, I'm proud of being Mexican, but I'm also proud of being an American and also a Texan. You know, I love where I'm from and I love where I'm at. You know, but it's just, you know, like homeboy earlier, he's from. If you first, you got to understand the geographics of Texas. You know, Texas is big. It's you know, it's big. All the border towns, which is like Laredo, El Paso, and the cities around it, you know, are mostly smuggling towns. It's always been like that, and it's going to continue being like that. You know, all the people, that's what they do. You know, they either smuggle people or smuggle other stuff. You know, that's just the way it is. And even if them people, when they get caught, they wanted to tell on somebody, they can't tell it, man, because it's their relative, man. It's either their uncle, their aunt. It's somebody in their family that they would have to face if they would tell it. So they got to face the charges. That's the border, man. You know, and then you got West Texas, which is more like country. You know, it's more, you know, Texas is big, man. There's still a lot of parts of Texas still been undeveloped. You still got country, you know, and that's West Texas. A lot of West Texas is still undeveloped. It's still, you know, there's nothing to do out there in West Texas. It's country.
Yeah. So
how
are the gangs out there?
Man, the gangs. When I was growing up in the 90s, man, the gangs, we had gangs, man, which was like the neighborhood gangs. You had like for specific in Dallas, it was divided by sides, man. You had, for the north, you had north side. For the east side, you had east side. For the west, you had the west. And for the south, was basically like where the Morenos, but you still have Mexicans hanging on the south. You know, like for example, on the north side you have NDV, North Dallas Vagos. You had VNS 13. You had North Haven Park. You had Webb Chapel Crips, Rolling 60s. Then you go to the east side, you have El Barrio, you have East Side Homeboys, you have East Side Locals, and then you have the Maple Maniacs. These are all little cliques amongst, but it's basically based off where you're from, north side, east side, south. Because when I hit the juvenile, it was like, where you from? I'm from the north side. Where are you from? From the east side. So it's basically based off north, east, south, and west. I'm from the west side. I'm from Dixon Projects from the south. I'm from West Dallas Projects. It was basically based off east, south, north, and west.
But none of it was. Does any of those gangs, any gangs in Texas, have anything to do with the north and south, like what you see in California?
Nah, man. No, it's just it's different. It's different. It's way different. Like back in the early 90s, 2000s, the Southerners tried to come down here, man. But then we were already established. There was already established gangs here that had already been here for years. You know what I mean? So when they came out here, they were kind of the outcast. They didn't have no guidance. You know, they didn't have no big homies out here. You know, they just some renegades showed up, and they were just out here by themselves. You know what I mean? They didn't have no guidance. So because when they were hitting the county, they're like, man, what do I do? I'm like, say, look, man, look, out here you got Famas and you got Tango, man. And he's like, well, you know, because they don't. It's not like this over here where they respond to the Emmett, to the Texas Emmett. Over here is the Texas Emmett is different than over there. They got some kind of connection, man, but it's different, you know. Over here is the Texas Emmett.
That's new. I didn't know that. I heard of Arizona Emmett and New Mexico Emmett. I didn't know there was a Texas Emmett.
Yeah, man, it's called Mexiclami. It's like a MEX. There's but they're based out of San Antonio, basically, man.
Yeah.
They're out of San Antonio, man. Like when I hit the prison system in 2001, the main FAMAs, man, which FAMAs are families, man, what they call families. You know, those are the organizations that basically are blood in, blood out. You know, those are the ones that you're gonna have to get some blood on your hands to get the rank, you know, or else you're just gonna be a peon. You're just gonna be. It's three phases for them, man. You know, there's a FAMA, but you got 3 steps to even be considered a member into that organization. You know, on the Tango wise, man, you just got to show heart. Like homeboy said earlier, man, they put 2 on 1. As long as you take an ass whooping and don't fold up, you in. You know, so in a way, that's a good thing. You know that members are coming in high volume, but at the same time, you know, when the shit hits the fan, how many of them are really going to be at the front line?
True.
You know, anybody can take an ass whooping. You know what I mean? Because if you know, hey, I can join in, I get protection. All I got to do is take an ass whooping for so many minutes or so many seconds. A lot of us joined where we had already previously did that when we joined our street gangs.
Yeah.
You know, so it wasn't like, oh, we already did that before. You know, hey, we throw a couple of punches, we don't fold up, we in.
Are the original members of the Tango that really started it? Are they around anymore, or has it been that long?
Man, it's like I told you, man. The gangs in Texas didn't really start forming until like 84. No, they were probably around, but they didn't start forming until the building tenders lay control. Because after you can look it up, it's called the Ruiz versus Estelle. He filed all kinds of motions to where they took the building tenders away, and they hired more actual officers to do their jobs. So once they took the building tenders out, that left the vacuum for all the gangs to start preying on each other. You know,
How did the building tenders control everything by themselves to prevent?
Oh, the warden, man. The warden was picking and choosing who he was giving the keys to that unit. The warden. So man, here in Texas, it's racist here in Texas, man. Here you go to the prisons, you're gonna be picking cotton. you're going to be picking fruit. You're going to be working like a slave in the fields. You know, it ain't no joke.
For real?
You're going to be where you're going to be working for free with out in the fields, man. Pick two-stepping.
Yeah, you got hell nah, bro. Hell nah, bro. I mean, I heard one Arizona gave out pink boxers, but you ain't gonna have me picking cotton, bro. That's for damn. Okay.
No, you have to pick a fruit for us to eat, man. You have to pick the watermelon. You're picking the I was picking cabbage. The fucking not the greens, not the collard greens, but there's some other greens, man, that have spikes on it. So you gotta take the greens off with your hands, and you get these pokers all over your hand, man. You're working in the field. It's like if you actually working you are working in the field from sun up to sundown for free.
Bro,
and if you don't work, you don't get your visits. You lose your grade. It's like you want your visits. You want your commissary, man. That's what's keeping you going. So if you got to go out there and work in the field, then so be it, man. The only way you can get out of this is you go to school. But everybody's going to the field.
Man, you know what I mean, that ain't gonna happen in California prisons, bro. The way we politic, we will hunger strike and earn everything we need.
Nah, man, and even in this Texas heat, man, you're still gonna go out there and work. You're gonna still go out there and kick up dirt, man. And when I did my time, man, you know, I was in the county, man. You know, let me tell you a little bit more about my charge, man. How I ended up in the county in prison, man. You know, it was Thanksgiving of 2000. Me and my bro, we had been chilling, we had been drinking, you know. So we're home now. You know, I'm at his house. You know, but I'm calling my baby mama. That's not my baby mama then at the moment. You know, she's just my girlfriend at the moment. So we're arguing. She's hanging up the phone on me. I'm calling. She's hanging up the phone. So eventually her stepdad picks up the phone. And he at the time I didn't know that he had belonged to a gang or he had been in prison. You know, I didn't know too much about him at the time. So he picks up the phone and we start arguing, and he said a comment. He's like, "Man, you come over here, I'm gonna butt fuck you." Right? And I'm like, "Oh shit." Yeah, man. That shit tripped me out, man. I was 18, 17 years old when he told me this shit. You know what I mean? I'm like, what the fuck, this dude? And I'm drunk, man. So I'm like, I hop in my car, man. Back then I had about an Eldorado, man, like a 85, 86 Eldorado, my Cadillac from a Dolphin for like $700, man. It was a clunker, man, you know, but it got me up and down, you know. It got me up. It did its job, man. So I hopped on it, and I guess my brother hears me peel out. I peel out, man. So I park my car. I go to my baby mama's apartments. Her apartments were gated, so I park by the gate. I jump on my hood and I jump over the fence because the security guard wouldn't let me in. You know, so I had to jump over the gate, and I jumped over the gate, and I went up there and I knocked at the door. He came out, so we started fighting, man. But I didn't know my brother had followed me. So while me and her stepdad are fighting downstairs, he takes off running. I'm like, oh yeah, man, I'm whooping this motherfucker. He's taking off running. But I didn't know my brother had knocked the gate down with my car, man, because I left my keys in the ignition. So when I left my keys in the ignition, he seen my car was there running. He put that motherfucker in drive and rammed the gate down because he's 300 plus. He ain't jumping over no gate, man. You know?
Yeah.
So when this dude sees my brother, this big 300 plus dude running, you know, I'm thinking I'm whooping his ass, but he sees my brother running, coming towards him. So he hauls it up inside the house and he locks the door. You know, but by that time, man, like I said, we had already been drinking, man. So I was heated up. My brother was heated up. So my brother, 300 plus, he kicked the door and boom, you know what I mean? And he's running towards the kitchen. Most likely probably get a kitchen knife or something. You know what I mean? He was probably trying to get it. So we caught him in the hallway of the kitchen. And we fucked him up right there, man. And during that process, I guess it was like I said, it was Thanksgiving of 2000. I guess the mom was making tamales, man. She had a bowl of masa, a tamale, man. I just remember I'm just punching the dude. And this dude's just letting me hit him, man. He's just taking it. Next thing I know, my brother just picks up that thing and just boom, just smashes it on top of his head. And he just drops, and that was it, man. We took off.
Well, you guys beat him with a bowl of tamales?
You know, the mom was making the masa, man.
You know,
She had a bowl of
heavy,
masa. Fuck yeah, man. He got that. But next thing he just wobbled and fell, man. That was it. You know what I mean? That was it. So now, man.
Go ahead.
So now, man. Now, I don't know. You know, I guess she had no choice but to, you know, they already knew who I was. You know what I mean? She had no choice but to tell the cops, hey, you know, it was him, and so. So they gave me an opportunity, man. That, you know, they're like, hey, you're a first time offender, man. We'll give you probation. I'm like, all right, fuck it, give me the probation. You know, I'll take it. You know, but you know, being young, I didn't even show up to the first one. You know what I mean? I didn't even show up to the first meeting on probation. You know, they let me out on probation, and they're like, hey, you got to come back to probation the next day, and get your probation going, and get your thing going. Man, I didn't go back. You know, so I stayed on the streets for a little bit longer, for like about 2-3 months, and they said, oh no more. They picked me up. They said, oh no more probation. You know, you're gonna go do what we told you we're gonna do. You didn't want the 3 years probation, so now you're gonna have to go do it. They you know, I guess they were just trying to be hard. You know what I mean, man? Because they could have gave me a probation again. You know what I mean? That was a first time felon.
Yeah.
So like I said, man, like they considered my crime aggravated, even though it really was. My intentions weren't in there to steal. You know, I didn't go in there. I didn't kick in the door or looking for stuff or trying to take anything. You know, but I still got charged with burglary habitation.
So for kicking the door in, that's considered burglary. Well, it's because you went into a residence without permission, even though they were present. I can see why the charge is named that. Maybe a little extra. I mean, I would think they would have been more focused on the assault than burglary.
Yeah, man. And the fucked up about it, man, that I gave the dude, man, I gave the dude $500 to sign a non-affidavit not to prosecute, man. But then when he signed it, he didn't sign it with his real fucking name. He put another name on the non-affidavit not to prosecute. Yeah, man.
He fandangled
so
you?
He got me, man. So I thought he was gonna drop the charges, you know. Cause I was like, hey, I'll fix the door, you know, and plus I'll give you an extra $500. Cause at the end of the day, man, he was just a dopey too, man. He was just a dopey, man. He wasn't no dude that was like a respectable dude. You know, he wasn't even working, man. You know, he was just living off of the mom.
Oh,
they were barely making it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So you wind up going to prison for that, right?
Yeah, man. And during the time I'm in the county, man, and you know, out here, like I said, man, it's based off of geographics, man. You know, like earlier I made a comment, man, and I guess I got my geographics wrong, man. Cause like basically, you know, from Dallas back in the day, man, before Tango was even created, man, it was just basically the famas, man. The famas were like, if you were out of Dallas, you were falling into with the Raza Unida. RU. That's based out of Dallas and Corpus Christi, man. All right. If you were falling out of Houston, you were falling with the Texas Syndicate, the Cuernos, Texas Syndicate. You know, if you were falling out of San Antonio or around that region, you were falling under the Texas Mexican Mafia. If you were falling out from El Paso, you were Barrio Azteca. And now we were falling out from like the Bayucos, and you didn't have at the time, you didn't have too many farmers coming out of there. You know, you had the Tri-City, but then the Pistoleros, they smashed themselves out, and then that gave the opportunity for the Bayuco to pick up.
Yeah.
So it you know, like I said, the gangs were started in '84. Tango started coming up in the early '90s. So the only farmers that have structure and that were solidified are the ones that lasted. The other ones individually, they got like the Pistoleros and the Tri-City, they kind of died out amongst themselves. You know, so if you fell out of Dallas, you had those back in the day, those who you were gonna have to get in line with. You know, we were basically like their foot soldiers. You know, if you fell out of Dallas, you were gonna get in line. And if you wanted to work your way up, you had that opportunity to work your way up. You know, because when I hit the county, my crime was committed. It was considered aggravated, so they put me in an aggravated tank. They put me in with everybody that had fucking murder charges, rape charges, and me. I'm just facing a fucking 3-year sentence, and they're putting me with people that have real aggravated charges. You know what I mean? Like real. These guys are real facing time, man. Every time they come to court, they're sad. You know what I mean? Because they're facing 45, 65, 75, 85. They're still these type of numbers. You know what I mean? They're not here like here in Texas. Life means 40, 45. So if they give you a life sentence, you can do 25 to 30, and you get a possibility to parole on the life sentence. Now, if you get a life sentence without parole, that's what it is. Life with no parole. But then if they give you 85, 95, Texas be giving you 85, 75, and then you got to do half, you got to do 3/4 of that. So out of 75, you got to at least do 50, 60 to be even considered. So that's basically a life.
Yeah.
You know, so it's, but Texas is known for that. You know,
out of all these FAMAs, which ones would you consider to be the most structured, the most organized, and the most powerful when it comes to the penal systems? And do they intermingle with each other?
Nah, like they don't. The strongest, maybe the most organized man would be. I would give it to the Texas Mexican Mafia, man. I guess because they have that connection to the California, and they're more structured.
Yeah,
you know, so they follow those kind of guidance as well. So they're more.
They emulate the ones from Cali.
Yeah, man. Almost like. You know what I mean, man? They got bodies over here left and right, man. They're these are the ones that you can actually hear bodies popping up, man. You know what I mean? Are from these guys in Texas. If you look in Texas, these are the guys that you can hear most of the bodies popping up. You know, they even had a cop, man. There's a documentary on YouTube, man, where there was a cop, man, that was actually in the San Antonio Police Department, man. He was actually a cop.
Yeah,
you know, he was actually a cop.
I seen the video. He was actually a cop, but there's a lot of stipulation around that. Some people say he was a member. Some people say he was acting as a member until they realized he was a cop, or that he was.
Yep.
What was the thing? He was trying to infiltrate?
I think he was trying to play both sides, man. I think he was trying to be a cop and then try to get money off of them, you know, like trying to push his weight. You know, he probably had a connection. He was trying to sell, and he was trying to play both sides of the field, man. And once they found out that maybe if he would have told them, man, you know, maybe we would have said, hey, you know, I'm this and that. They would have used them to their advantage, man. But since he kept it hidden, you know, that was like, hey, what other secrets does he have? You know, so I'm gonna get back to when I hit the county, man. You know, I was getting not laced up, man, but I was getting the ins and outs of Raza Unida. You know what I mean? Like telling me how I was gonna progress. At first I was gonna have to be like a esquina firme. But that's just like the bottom of the bottom, man. You know, that's just a hang around, basically like a hang around. You know what I mean? Somebody that's, you know, hey, you're not even considered a prospect yet. You know, you're just a hang around. You know what I mean? You're just, you know, and then after you become a esquina firme, you could become a prospect if one of them decided to, hey, vouch for you like a padrino and be like, hey, you know, I want to bring this guy in, and you know, that's the next step, you know. And after that, after being a prospect, you know, you can either become a brother, or if you're in good terms, you become, and if not, you get X'd out. That's on the farmer side, you know. This is what he's telling me, you know. He's telling me like. And also, you know, you got to put in work. And I'm like, you know, put in work. I'm like, I don't mind putting in work, man. But it's like somebody I'm thinking like somebody I know on the streets. Like, yeah, you know, fuck yeah, you know, if I know him, fuck yeah, you know, I put in work. If me and him got beef, yeah, no problem. But he's like, nah, man. Sometimes you got to just go put in work without knowing to do. I said, nah, man. So you're telling me I got to go do somebody else's dirty work? I said, nah, man. I said, I didn't even listen to my own dad to go listen to you. Listen to anybody, you know what I mean, man. I mean, it's like when he started telling me all this stuff, and I'm like, at first it was sounding cool and stuff, man. You know, oh man, we get access to everything. You know, down there, you know, you ain't gonna want nothing. You know, you're gonna be looked out for, and it all sounded good and everything, man. But once he told me about putting in work with people that you don't even know, it's like that doesn't make no sense to anybody, man. Well, down here in Texas, you know, it's like, but we're not doing it. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
and I guess that's why. Yeah, man. I guess that's why the tangos were created, man. Because there were so many people like thinking, shit, we're not gonna go do dirt for nobody else. We'll do dirt if we know the dude, or he does something to one of us right now. Yeah, you know, that's why it was created. You know, because People will, like here in Texas, they give you long term, man. They give you 10, 15, 20 for bullshit. You know, and then you want to go home. You know what I mean? You don't want to. Here in Texas, man, it's the politics are not that strong, like in Cali, like how y'all structures are, man. We got simple rules, man. You know, keep your hygiene. Don't be wearing your house. Don't be wearing your shower slides in the day room. You know, when you go anywhere, you go with your homeboys. You go 2 or 3 deep. You go to chow hall, you make sure you got 2, 3 of your homeboys. You go to the showers, you go 2, 3 homeboys. You go to the barber, you make sure you go with the homeboy. You go to the law library, you make sure you go with the homeboy. The homeboys go check your house. Your house better be smelling good, and it better be dust free. You know, your bed better be made. Your hygiene better be on point. You know, you better just represent and make sure that we on point. You know, we looking good. There ain't no excuse for not having a haircut, because every homeboy knows how to cut a fade. You know, they'll pull out the razor and comb, and everybody's faded out. You know what I mean? Everybody, there's no excuse. They give in Texas at the time, you couldn't go to chow with having a mustache. So if you had hair on your face, there was no good. You were sending back, or they were making you shave right then and there.
The inmates?
You know? Yeah, man, the guards.
Oh, the guards make the inmates?
Yeah, the guards would be like, if you like before, man, before in 2000, you had to be baby face, man. No face, no hair, no face on you, no facial hair at all.
Damn, bro, you got to worry about the guards dictating you more than anybody.
Yeah, man, I mean, like after, luckily when I caught Chain, man, I caught Chain with a homeboy that was from Dallas County that was back on the bench warrant. He was back on the bench warrant. He had already been down at his unit for like 10, 15 years, but he was coming back trying to fight a case and trying to give time back. That way he can parole earlier. So I didn't meet him until we were catching the Chain, you know, the night before. And luckily we ended up at the same transfer facility. Once we ended up at the same transfer facility, that's when he laced me up about the Tango. He's like, look, man, right now we're not really lacing nobody up from the county. This is more of a prison. So we wait for everybody. You know, once it start hitting the transfer units, that's when we start schooling people. We start giving people heads up. You know, but we don't do it in the county at the time. You know, at the time, the homeboy was like, no, we don't school nobody in the county right now. You know, we just wait till we hit the transfer facilities or wherever you go. I'm like, all right. So luckily, I stayed right there with him, and he schooled me on the Tango, man, and it made more sense, man. You know, logistically and how can I say, man? It was just the right feeling, man, because it was more of a volunteer. It's like you want to put in work. Hey, I feel like doing it today. You know, I'm having a bad day. You know, I got a bad letter today. Hey, I'll go put in work today. Fuck it. You know, it's more of a volunteer. It's not like, hey, yeah, it's your turn. Nah, man. You know, there's, like I said, man, we got so many. We're so many deep that everybody's volunteering. You know me? Hey, like, hey, I go do that. You know what I mean? It's never shorthanded for anybody to want to go do it. You know, and it feels better more when it's volunteered than being forced to do it. You know what I mean? To say, if you don't want to do it, then we're going to do it to you.
No, that's actually a good concept. It gives people the opportunity to know when they're willing to sacrifice, when they're willing to step up to the plate and defend their homies. And most importantly, you guys got the numbers. I've heard since the Tangos have been created, you guys' numbers fluctuated deep within the penal system, that you guys gave a run to the Texas Syndicate to the point like they're short members now.
Yeah, they're short members, man. I mean, they're honestly, man, I don't think like they were a dying breed already, man. You know, because like I said, you know, I went in the 2000s, man, and I would consider like I had a lot of younger homeboys, same age, man, you know, that were just coming up, and they weren't going to listen to that Fama stuff. You know what I mean? They had the same mentality like us, man. Hey, we weren't listening to our parents. That's why we're here. You know, what makes you think that we're going to listen to somebody else? You know, there was just a lot of, not myself, man, but everybody else that's coming through the system now. They're like, man, you know, what's the benefit of becoming that? More time? You know, you telling me to go do something and I do it and I get caught and that's it for me. You know what I mean? So it's not a lot of people were like, nah, we're not down with that. You know what I mean, man? So now a lot of people just go with the tangos. You know what I mean, man?
Yeah, does the Tangos beef with everybody, like Raza Unida, the Mexican Mafia, and the Syndicates?
Yeah, man. They're like like it's like we're like one, but then we're really not like one. It's like if a Dallas member gets in with the let's say a Rolling 60 Crip, it's just a Dallas and a Crip thing. You know, it now if homeboys from Stone want to get in it, you know, we're not gonna say, hey, you know, for us it's the more the merrier. You know, it's like the more that want to join, and the better for us. You know what I mean? But we're not asking them. You know, if a member, you know, gets in the wreck with the Crip or with the Aryan Brotherhood or with the Aryan Circle, you know, we'll figure it amongst ourselves. We'll let our homeboys know, hey, look, we got some issue over here, but you know, we're gonna take it amongst ourselves. If we need it, you know, we'll come together. But mostly, man, they do come. We're together.
But the cars within the cars of Tango, like how you said, like the Vayugos and the whatever city you come from, if they have to deal with the particular homie from that area, it'll be those individuals in particular to do it.
Yeah, man. Of a Dallas, perhaps if a Dallas homeboy fucks up, you know, it's going to be a Dallas homeboy that's going to smash him out, unless they're in medium custody and there's no homeboys from Dallas, and Dallas gives the word of homeboys from Houston or from another, say, hey, smash him out. You know, but mostly we'll tend to do our own dirt. Like if it's a homeboy fucking up from Dallas, we'll smash him out. You know, on our end. You know.
Oh, okay. But
it's
like I said, you guys go to war with the other famas besides the Cuernos.
Yeah, man. Well, whoever at the unit, it's like basically whoever's trying to control the unit, man. You know, basically whoever can try to control unit is who's trying to control the money flow.
Yeah.
You know, and whoever got, it's like whoever got the plug, it's the one that's going to control it, man. You know, it's like anywhere else. Whoever got the plug with the guard, or wherever it's coming from, the inmates coming in, the visiting room, you know, they're going to control it, man. You know, but they're not going to really. The farmers have learned to stay in their place, man. You know, they've learned how to do their dirt, do their work amongst themselves, but they don't tend to rattle our cages. You know, because it's pointless for them. You know what I mean, man? Because they're outnumbered, and what's the point for them? They're not going to prove no point. They're just going to get smashed over and over and over. Now in the federals, I ain't never been in the federals, but that's totally different because you know you got states, so now it's by states now. You know what I mean? So now it's no more Tango Houston, Tango Austin. It's just Tango. You know what I mean, man? It's just Tango in the federals. You know, there's no more. Okay, you know we're just Tango. But out here in the states, man, you know we're one, but we're divided. You know what I mean?
And there's no kind of like warfare amongst each other on the streets.
Nah, man. Every now and then, man. Every now and then, man. You know, every now we might get heated up. Every now and then, man. Like when the Dallas Cowboys or the Houston the Houston games come on when they play against the same cities. You know, that's when the shit happens. You know what I mean? Because we start, oh man, fuck y'all. The Astros ain't shit, or the Rockets ain't shit, and they say all the Cowboys ain't shit, and then your homeboy might take it wrong, be like, man, who, you know, it just starts like that, man, you know, but it'll get calmed down, you know what I mean, man, because then we don't fight really amongst each other, man. If we do fight amongst each other, they'll let us fight amongst each other, but then we'll get checked.
Yeah,
you know, they'll be like, all right, y'all want to get over, but y'all gonna know that after y'all get that over with, y'all gonna get a few more rounds from the other homeboys coming in here.
You know, that's tight. I like that. Y'all taking y'all sports out there serious, huh?
Yeah, that's just the way it is, man. You know, it's kind of kicked back, man. You know, it's like the streets, man. Prisons here in Texas are the streets, man. You can be your own man. You can ride solo, man, but just don't get yourself. It's just like out here in the streets, man. You know, you out here solo. You don't got to be gangbanging. You know, as long as you go to your work, you go to your classes. Don't start gambling. Don't get in debts. Don't say nothing. Don't say nothing that you ain't supposed to. Just minding your own business, man. You'll be all right. You know, but once you start hanging around one, that means you're associated with this guy. So you have no choice. It's kind of a thin line to walk by. You know what I mean, man? So it's kind of like you want to be solo, but then you know this guy and you kick it with this dude. So now you're in association. So you have to be like, it's you can ride solo here, man. You know, but it's like there's no, because at the end of the day you can ride solo, but then you start kicking it with the homeboys, and then you might as well just become one from the beginning. You know what I mean? Because at the end you slowly gravitate to it.
Yeah.
You know, you know, you're not, unless you become a Christian. You know, you still got that mentality of, man, I want to smoke. You know, I want to tell my war stories. You know, I want to chill. You know, I want to stay up and kick it with one of y'all. I want to get, you know, you still want to be part of that, man.
I know.
I'm
Trust me, it's hard to make a change. It's hard to really look away from all that when you've done it your whole life. And once you're around it, you gravitate towards it. Then you get accustomed to it. The next thing you know, you're just gonna fall victim to those circumstances. And you're not gonna like it. Quick question.
Yeah,
I asked my subscriber the same question. I'm gonna ask you too, bro. You already know what I'm gonna ask you, right?
Yeah, man. Go ahead, man.
So, how you feel? How does Texas feel about SPM? Because every time I've done comments, I've seen people like, I support him, I support his music, not him. Then I've seen a lot of Tejanos in my comment section, but like, man, forget that fool, and he's on his way home. So, how do you personally feel?
Man, you know, he's been making music since the '90s, man. You know, when that came up, that was like in the 2001, 2002. You know, he already had great music when those allegations came up. You know, but once you get those allegations, man, it's kind of hard to beat, man. You know, you're not, if you did it or not, you know, you're gonna be labeled that, man. Especially here in Texas, man, that they don't just give time out for nothing, man. You know, they're gonna look at the case, they're gonna look at the transcripts, they're gonna look at the evidence, and for them to give him 45 years, man, is that they felt that he was guilty, man. So if he wasn't guilty, man, you know, he would be home, you know. But they gave the dude 45 years, man. So, you know, there's still a lot of people that like him, man. But, you know, me personally, man, I kind of stay away from the dude. You know what I mean? He still got followers, man, in Houston, you know. But nobody really jams out to him, man. You know what I mean, man? Nobody really like. He's in PC. Nobody, like, none of the homeboys from Tango, Houston, like, really cut for him. There, I think at one time they were trying to extort him. You know what I mean? You know, because he made music while he was in there, man. So homeboys were like, hey, you know, once they found out that he was singing like basically like Tango music. You know what I mean? There was verses of him singing at Garza West with the homeboys. You know, so there was at one time that homeboys from Houston were pressuring him, man. Like, hey, you don't be acting like you're a homeboy. You know what I mean? Because homeboys are getting out there the misinterpretation that you're a homeboy. You know what I mean? Because you can go through his songs, man, where he's rapping that he's a Garza West and Garza East, and making big spreads with the homies, and you know, and from somebody's audience point of view that listens to that music, they would assume that he's hanging with the Blast. You know what I mean? But he's not. He's just in PC, man.
Why do you think he did that?
Oh, man, because he's from Houston, you know. So when Tango came around, a lot of the members were from Houston, man. A lot of the original members that started the organization were from Houston and Dallas. But Houston's deep, you know. That's Houston Tango. The Tangos, I say the biggest Tango, man, is Houston, and then from Houston you got Dallas, and then from Dallas I would say, well, it's just go by the biggest city. You know, because those are the people. The bigger the city, the more inmates is going to get. You know what I mean? And that's just the way it ends in Texas. There's, like, West Texas is not going to get that many inmates. You know, like if you get 10 Tango Blasts in the room in the state, 5 of them are going to be from Houston, 3 of them are going to be from Dallas, 1 of them might be from Austin, 1 of them might be from West Texas. You know, and we don't all segregate. You know, in the state, you know, it's different factions. You know, Bayuco, San Anto, and Austin, they all have their own tables. You know what I mean? We're the same. We're on the same page, but we're our own individual. We're on the same rim, but different spokes.
Yeah. I understand that, but that's kind of a bold move for that dude to do. And then, but were you guys able to extort him, or pressure them, and he kind of like disappeared?
Nah, man, that's because my homeboy that was that just got out, man. His name's David. You know, he would send me stuff autographed by this guy, man. Like I guess he would sell his autograph and or stuff with his signature. He would pass it out to people. You know what I mean? I guess to try to be cool. You know what I mean? And my homeboy, he's the one that told me that, yeah, you know, that they were trying to do that to him. You know what I mean? Because people were getting the thing, understanding that he was a homeboy through his music. You know, you come out here, you listen to that music, and you start, oh man, he's blasting. You know, he's in there with the homeboys. You know.
And you guys didn't want that connection with them at all whatsoever?
No, see, that's different politics. You know, that's a Houston thing. You know, I'm just hearing it from my homeboy's point of view, that he's from Dallas, that he's hearing it from homeboys from Houston and what they want to do, but he can't really speak and say, oh yeah, we want to pressure this. That was more of a Houston thing. You know, that's South Park is more of a, how can I say, a Houston problem.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a Dallas problem. It's not a Texas wide problem. Like if anybody wanted to clean up and do something to SPM, the first ones that would have to do would be Houston.
Yeah,
because he fell out of Houston. He's from Houston. I mean, we could do it upon ourselves, but you know, it's like he didn't fall from Dallas. He's out of Houston.
Yeah,
y'all have to clean up. If y'all want to clean it up, that's y'all's option. If y'all want to clean it up, or just leave it alone.
How about how does Texas feel about that rapper Mexican OT?
OT Genesis?
No, the Mexican OT. He's from Texas. He's like he's a Mexican rapper. Spits pretty. He's real popular. He's real famous on YouTube right now. Great music. He says he you know, he kind of sympathetic towards SPM a little bit, but he's coming out of Texas.
Yeah, man. That's the thing, man. A lot of the people that are in the music, that are into music, that, you know, he holds the keys, man. He still has his record label. You know, he signed a Universal independent deal. You know what I mean? He got like a couple of million off the independent with Universal. You know what I mean, man? And plus whatever he's been producing, he's still producing. You know, he still has Dope House Records. It's still Dope House Records. You know, he still has sources. He still, you know, he still has the keys for future artists that want to get there. They I guess, you know, they put a blind eye to that, man. A lot of these artists are not from the streets. You know, they want to make it singing some rap songs. You know, a lot of them are, but a lot of them just want to come up with the music. You know what I mean? And if they can use SPM, I guess SPM is like a quick the gatekeeper, man. It's not in Houston. Not it's mostly in Houston, man. You know, it's the people that want to rap here in Texas. They're his idol, man. You know, they still idolize him, man. Like how you said that new rapper that's based out of Texas. You know, they still idolize the man. You know, and it's sad to say, man, that, you know, that it's proven. You know, that he got this jacket on him already, man. You know, it's proven. You know, that he's doing time for the charge. You know, it's like there's no arguing that. You know, it's like it is what it is. You know, you got convicted of it, and if you did do it or you did do it, it's kind of too late for that, man. You know, people are already going to assume the worst. They're going to assume that you did it.
Yeah, that's an unfortunate circumstance, and it's a topic that I never really did a video on. But being able to talk to some, you know, some Tangos and some Texas residents, you know, I just had to get the perspective of Texans. I've seen a lot of people in my comment section disagree with them, can't stand them. So, you know, it's just a good perspective to ask. So,
yeah, man.
To end the video, speak about your YouTube channel. I heard it's very interesting. I want you to talk about it a little bit and leave us with a positive messages for the audience. You know, something that you went through, that you give us some good advice.
Oh man, my YouTube channels, man, is Texas Street Stories, man, and / collectibles of Texas, man. You know, I like, you know, back in the day when I was little, before I hit the street life, man, I used to like collecting baseball cards and sports cards. You know, earlier in my youth, you know, before I went off the way, you know, I used to like collecting sports cards. So, you know, that's something that I like doing, man. And it's something on the positive, man. Just be yourself, man. You know, don't be nothing that you're not, man. Because then you're gonna put yourself in a situation that you're not gonna like, man, for being somebody that you're really not. You know, you just be yourself, man. There's nothing wrong with just being an average Joe. You know, waking up, going, taking care of your business, going to work, coming home, seeing your family, you know, cooking around the house, helping around the house, you know, cutting the yard. Ain't nothing wrong with being a regular man, man. You know, everybody wants to get the house and car. Everybody wants to have money in the pocket the fast way, man. But that fast way is just gonna take you into the long road that you don't want to go to, man. You know, if anything positive that I could, man, it's like I would rather be an average Joe, man. Even through a lot of the street knowledge, man, has helped me in my personal life, like to succeed. You know, the same motivation that I had in the street life, I used it in my personal life to, you know, to be able to be where I'm at right now in life right now. You know, I'm comfortable. You know, I got a disease that's basically killing me slowly. You know, but that's another topic. You know, that's you know, I haven't worked for like 2 years. I'm just at the house chilling. You know, but my bills are paid. I ain't tripping. You know, I my refrigerator is full, you know, but I see people off of YouTube eating, man, and you know, I want to eat too, you know. But positive messages, man, just be yourself, man. Just be
Yes,
yourself.
sir. Yes, sir. I love
Just
that
be
message,
yourself,
bro.
man.
Yeah, I love it. People need to just be themselves and stop answering to the next man. That's what we all need to learn. It's a incredible message. I'm sorry about your health, man. I wish you all the health and happiness in the world. You know, I'm gonna have your YouTube channel displayed all over the screen. I hope you get success on
Appreciate it, bro.
YouTube like everybody else. And thank you for coming on to my channel, man. It was an honor
Man,
listening to your story. Now that's all good. Make
good
sure
night, man.
for my subscribers, make sure y'all go check out his YouTube channel. Hear the Texas street stories. Hear how gruesome Texas can be out there. And I thank you for your time. So with that being said, like I always say, it's one life, one chance. When they got one chance to do this right, let's get it done. Peace.